Hi, I'm Jennifer Pollard, Associate Research Professor at University of Louisville. Welcome to Module 2. In this module, we discuss how teachers determine and teach behavioral expectations to students. In the last module, we introduced the logic of predicting problems, time, places, situations, etc. We start here by revisiting that logic. Once we know that problems are likely under a set of conditions, we need to consider appropriate behaviors for those same conditions, or what we'd like students to do. We generally do this when teaching academics, showing students how to do things and how to solve. But for some reason, when teaching behavior, we often teach what we don't want rather than what we do. For example, the pictures on the left and right are focused on what not to do, and both are clearly ridiculous, because while both are obvious, neither tell us what we should be doing. But the sign in the middle is just as ridiculous. The great majority of students know not to hit others. What they don't know is what they should do when frustrated or disrespected by others. And that's what we should be teaching. So, a first concept for teaching behavior is to focus instruction on teaching students how to behave under specific conditions. When considering expectations, it's easy to end up with hundreds of things you want students to do, and that presents a problem for teaching. To solve this problem, we should teach concepts like respect others, and then provide examples for what that looks like under a range of circumstances that would be natural for your students. We call these anchors. And in addition, keep rules short and clear. Provide reminders often to facilitate success, and revisit instruction as needed. When teaching expectations, there are 3 essential features for effective instruction. First, be direct and explicit. Tell the students exactly what the expectation is. Explicitly tie it to the anchor and provide examples that will seem real and relevant to your students. Explicit instruction might be thought of as the degree to which students understand what they're learning, why they're learning it, and why it matters for them. For the teacher, being explicit means considering how we introduce new lessons to make them seem relevant. What we say, how we say it, and what examples we present are all crucial components of being explicit. The opposite of explicit instruction is discovery learning, the notion that students must explore and learn on their own. While some students may be successful with pure discovery, others will struggle, and there is no advantage to discovery versus explicit instruction. Now, let's move on to talk about the second key to effective instruction, student engagement. To clarify, student engagement is a teacher responsibility. When students are not engaged, they are not learning. If we don't do something to grab their brain attention, the competitors for their attention will win out. When we provide opportunities for students to respond during instruction, we call these OTRs, opportunities to respond. If I just say, think about this, there's a good chance the student is not thinking about it. But if I ask them to think and then do something physically, it forces actual thinking about the content. Raise your hand if you think this is a positive example. Involves a physical act, which requires the student's brain to actively process lesson content. There are numerous ways to provide OTRs. We can use hand raises, numbers on fingers, response cards, write on paper and hold it up, turn to a neighbor and tell them, or even build something. The big idea is that their brain had to massage our content in order to complete the physical task. The final key to effective instruction involves guiding students' practice with immediate positive feedback. The simplest and most effective manner of providing positive feedback is verbal acknowledgement. A simple statement of affirmation such as, "That's right," "Good job with that," "Thank you," or even "Yes." Of course, we can only use positive feedback when the student does something correctly. If we are not able to provide high rates of positive feedback due to failures, it means that the explicit and engaging parts of instruction were insufficient and must be revisited. Under these circumstances, we may need to use different examples, spend more time, find better ways to engage, or find another way of altering the instructional environment. The bottom line is we must facilitate student success and then give the credit for the success to the student. That's what makes instruction stick.